Hello, Sally. How are you?
Well, Sherry, how are you this morning?
Doing well. I know you, is that Chicago in your background?
That is Chicago. That's
Yeah.
I had a photographer actually take the photos.
Okay. You need a one,
Yeah,
you need one of Columbus, Ohio next to you too.
that's a good point. Put that
Yeah.
on the list.
And not just because I'm from Columbus, but we're both from Columbus.
Exactly.
Yeah. And our
The
paths,
stadium.
obviously.
We'll put the stadium.
Yes, the Ohio Stadium would be a really perfect time for it right now too. But
Hmm.
we didn't meet in Columbus. We met when you placed me for New York City. Now, what, like 8 years ago? Can't believe that. 9 years ago,
Can't
actually,
believe it
that's when the
either.
interview process started.
That
Yeah.
was quite the interview process too.
Yeah, that's for sure. But, speaking of interview processes, I know, this is what you're mostly involved with, your firm and the work that you do. So I'm very curious of, as time changes, what are some of the current skill sets that employers look for in actuaries these days?
Yeah. Well, I've put some thought into this question. We see so many position descriptions and they really don't vary that much. They'll talk about looking for specific product knowledge or a specific technical skill. And valuation of indexed annuities, that's an important skill for this position, for example. And then we have the job description. It tells us the level, the years of experience, and then we get on the phone with the hiring manager, and then they tell us really what they're looking for and what makes the actuary valuable to them.
Mhm.
So as much as staying on top of the technical skills, and we're seeing more calls for advanced coding type of experience and people who are interested in new technologies, it still comes down to core core traits that the person has that makes the person valuable to the company, to the position.
Mhm.
And those would be understanding the business. So we hear from time to time that actuaries, they do all this analysis, but they don't always answer solve or solve the problem. And
Mhm.
so the person who is able to look and figure out exactly what is the problem, what needs to be done here, and has the intellectual curiosity to really delve into it instead of just saying, okay, here's my data set and here's what I'm going to do with it and here's the answer.
Yeah.
To be able to say, did I go down the right avenue? Is the
Mhm.
data clean? Is it answering what we need to have answered?
Mhm.
So having that intellectual curiosity, having that desire to learn and the passion for answering business questions and solving business problems is pretty much at the top of the list of what employers are looking for.
Okay.
And then go ahead.
Yeah, so I was just going to say that it's important to get through the exams because on surface, like you said, on paper, they're still looking for, the very traditional skills. But it's also the maybe, keeping up with technology that may be, the coding that you talked about. So maybe that can be something that actuarial science programs across the US and colleges could start looking for. But also like that third piece you're saying is the skill set that is not necessarily documented, not necessarily taught in classes, but that internal curiosity and weaving, the trees together to really see the forest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right. The skills that I'm speaking about here aren't part of the exam curriculum.
right, right.
And
So that's good to know.
actually, right, in the exam
Yeah.
process, focused on the technical, focused on mastering that material, but the
Mhm.
communication skills, the relationships, the problem solving isn't exactly, well, problem solving is on there, but for the
Yeah,
most part, these are the skills that go above and beyond the exam process, the very
right.
important exam process.
Well, that's very good to know. I will keep that in mind if I were to be on the board and help, infuse that into the exam process. So thank
Mhm.
you, Sally.
Great, thank you.
Talk to you soon. Bye bye.
Bye, Sherry.